Hey Aries, welcome to this reading. I hope that you're doing well today. Okay, so the first thing actually, did I say I'm looking at their impressions of you first, then I'll look at their feelings. The first thing I'm seeing is it's almost like their first, how do I explain this? Okay, let's say, as an example, the way you met this person is you opened the front door and they were standing there. Literally 1 second before you opened the front door, their focus and attention was on something that had just ended, a cycle they'd closed out, so they were quite self-focused, which kind of tells me that, you know, we might see that when they first met you, they were shocked, surprised, they weren't expecting to notice anybody in the way that they noticed you because they were quite self-focused at the time. Thinking as well about something that had just ended. King of Pentacles, and we have Death. Absolutely. So for some of you, this person could have just transitioned in the work realm. They could have been focusing on finances, home. It could even have been a relationship that perhaps ended or was in the process of ending. We have Scorpio energy here. With the King of Pentacles, very focused on self, very focused on how they were manifesting in the world, how they were showing up. They could even have been thinking about how they looked. Maybe in that particular moment, perhaps you met this person at an event and they were just doing a final check of, you know, is my tie straight, or is my dress, you know, not stuck into my tights or whatever. I don't know, you know, just like doing a check, but focus on themselves, I think. Okay. So this person's first impression, please, of my viewer. Oh my goodness, and Judgment. Are you kidding? Okay, so for some of you, you're definitely a Scorpio, or you have Scorpio, and I would say one of your big three, Sun, Moon, Rising, or this person has a very prominent Scorpio placement. Now, if it's not that, we know Scorpio energy is about death, rebirth, it's about going deep, focus on the self, and, you know, really looking at sort of how we've been showing up, patterns, things we're changing. So yeah, lots and lots of self-focus. This could have been someone who went through something huge, the world, death, and judgment, around the 3D. So as I said, a relationship that ended, job, finances, home, the kind of person they're showing up as. Okay, so I literally think the second before they saw you, their thoughts were just in an entirely different place. We have the High Priestess. We've got some Pisces energy there. And it's interesting, if you have a look at the ship on the sea, it looks very stormy. So maybe internally feeling a bit stressed out, looking much calmer on the surface than they felt within. Perhaps going through, it could be like a dark night of the soul even, but some really deep self-reflection, again, with that energy of Pluto coming through. So feeling more unsettled than they appeared. And it's interesting how she's coming out from behind a curtain. So for some of you, there could be an aspect here around theatre or performance. But again, that message I got of this person doing a final check. How do I look before I step through? You know, it doesn't have to be that they were literally going to be on stage, but if they were going to an event that you were at, or you met at a party or a gathering, just checking, you know, do I look okay? We have the Knight of Pentacles. Four of Swords in the reverse. Okay, I'm just going to put those back. I'm taking all of those. Okay, and we have, yes, the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, we've got Sagittarius energy there. Wow. The only card I feel is talking about how their first impression of you is this Wheel of Fortune, but it's a big deal. I'll get there in a minute. So we go from the King to the Knight. Yeah, this is someone who I feel part of this change, this transition they went through, they almost may have looked at it as a downgrade. So when I said maybe transition in the work realm, perhaps they were fired or they got demoted, or, you know, something disappointing happened. A relationship ended and they went from being, say, married or living with someone to being divorced or single or living alone. And for this person, at that time at least, that may have felt like a downgrade, especially if, you know, in their head they had these sort of markers of, well, if I move in with someone, you know, check. If we get married, check. I'm moving ahead as, you know, an adult and I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to, if they had a particularly, say, traditional outlook on things. There was something here where they weren't very happy. Again, we've got this stormy sea, but she looks very calm. You know, we'd never know, but this person was experiencing a change, a transition that they weren't that thrilled with. Four of Swords in reverse. They hadn't yet got to this place of, okay, I'm healed, I'm ready to go. They were still transitioning from that painful Three of Swords into the rest, the healing, the peace, and the clarity of the Four of Swords. So, yeah, when they encountered you, it was like a shock to the system. They didn't expect it. They weren't actually intending to try and connect with anyone in the way that they connected with you, or for their attention to be taken by someone in the way that it was with you. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, the first impression they got when they met you was, oh my goodness, my luck is looking up. Things are moving, things are changing. This feels like, finally, I've been going through a difficult time, I've encountered disappointments, and look what the universe, spirit, God, you know, or luck, whatever they call it, look what has been brought to me. Wow, amazing. And I'm noticing she's got on this red dress, which, you know, it's making me think of these red curtains here. So there was some way in which, upon a first glance or interaction with you, this person recognized themselves in you and thought, okay, we're really getting along here. We have this instantaneous connection, and this could even be before any words were spoken. They could have looked at you, picked up on your energy, or maybe it was how you were coming across in that moment and thought, yeah, okay, I get you, you get me, I feel like there's something here. Now, if this is a situation where you've not actually met in person, you're talking online, if they've seen a photograph of you, or in your first chat interaction, there was something you said or a way you came across. It could even have been the tone, your sense of humor. I'm hearing sarcasm, so for some of you might have kind of like a sarcastic, witty sense of humor or something, maybe quite dry or deadpan, and this person's like, wow, I'm getting the joke you're making. And maybe it's a sort of situation where most people wouldn't realize that you were being humorous. They would take you at face value. But there's something here where this person thought, yes, I can really see a lot of me in you, and I'm assuming it might go vice versa, because I'm feeling something strong here. The other thing I'm looking at is she's holding this watch, like a pocket watch here in her hand. And it's looking at her, it's her right hand, but if we were her, it would be her left hand. So that's sort of the receiving hand. So there's something where they looked at you and it really felt like they were receiving this opportunity, this connection. They were receiving this chance, this moment to connect with you, to be in your presence. And with it being specifically this watch talking about time, it's like, finally, it's about time. And I don't just mean, oh, I've recently been through something rough. I think this person felt, it's taken my whole life, you know, things I've been through. I'm looking at all of these cogs as well. I've had to take different turns in life. I've had to go through different things. And finally, I'm meeting someone who at first sight, I'm almost, I'm blown away by here. So this could be a situation, I mean, we'll look at their feelings in a minute, but a feeling of instant connection. This could be them saying, oh, now I finally understand what people mean by love at first sight, or, whatever they were feeling at first sight. But yeah, feeling like it really took a long time to feel this with anyone. Doesn't matter what their age is, but I get the feeling by a long time they're saying, this is the first time in my life that I've seen someone and felt this sense of connection. And just really symbolizing a new beginning here. And their luck looking up, and I think being excited, wanting to connect with you. I think their impression of you here was that you were very confident and you were more willing to be bold and directly engage with them. They were almost being a bit coy, but not because they were trying to play games, because they were shy, I think. Again, this is someone who seems calm on the surface, but they've got so much more going on within. There's a lot more uncertainty than what they show on the surface here. There's also a feeling as well, I don't know how they picked this up, that you two had been through a lot in life, that you even may have had your heart broken at times, whether we're talking in, through family, friends, romantic situations, but you sort of you kept piecing it back together every time, and it just made you stronger and stronger and stronger. Look as well, this woman here, she's shielding part of her body with the cloth, as if to say, don't look at me straight on, don't look at me fully. So they could be self-conscious about how they look. That keeps coming through a lot, this person checking, do I look okay, do I look okay? But also it's like, I don't want to completely reveal the fullness of who I am instantly. Quite a guarded, almost secretive person, whereas you know, this is how they're seeing you. You're like, boom, with your dress, here is everything. So I feel like they're saying you're so confident with who you are that you're like, well, this is me, you either like it or you don't. Now you may be like, well, not really, but that was their impression of you, at least first impression here. You were comfortable with being seen, so they may think you're incredibly attractive and that you know it, so you're not self-conscious. Yeah, and just very comfortable with who you are, and everything that you have been through. So maybe you wear your scars proudly, whether we're talking emotional scars, maybe you have some physical scars. What else? There was something else I wanted to say. Yes, okay, in terms of how do they know this, I don't know if for someone watching where you met, maybe it was like, it could have been a group support for like grief counselling or something, or there was something around you that made it obvious that you had both been through something tough, something challenging. You could even have met in a particular location, like a hospital or something like that, you know? So that's their first impression of you. It's, oh, I'm you know, being quite self-focused, I'm just kind of stressed out, I've been through a lot, I'm being self-reflective, I'm trying to put myself back out there and engage with the world and show that I'm fine even though I'm not, and then bam, they see you. And they're like, who is that? I need to get to know this person here. And I know I've spoken a lot about this woman and her dress, but you know, you could be a woman, could be a man, doesn't matter. It's really just, who are you? I want to get to know you more, but feeling shy at the same time. Okay, so let's have a look at their feelings here. Okay, Spirit, can you show us, for some of you there's a connection with writing. I don't know if you met at like a creative writing group, course, situation, something online. Yeah, okay. Let's see, so this person's feelings, please. Their feelings for my viewer, their initial feelings. Oh, look at that, see? Amazing, 4 of Pentacles reversed. And this is how they were up until this point. And remember I was saying, you know, hiding half of her body. I don't want everyone to see me fully. With you, it's like, okay, let me open the cupboard and show you everything that's inside. And also feeling like you could see, you understood without them needing to volunteer the information, because again, it's like, okay, we are 2 sides of the same coin. I don't know why they were so convinced of that, but they were. So a feeling of connection, a feeling of recognition, a feeling of wanting to be open and vulnerable with you, but and kind of knowing it was going to happen anyway, that you could see them clearly, and feeling good about it actually. It's interesting because a lot of what's coming through is how this person was feeling within themselves in response to you. So I do wonder if in this connection, especially at the start, you felt like you were the pursuer in some way, or you were placed in a position of maybe the masculine energy pursuing, and this person took more of like a feminine, I'm going to just exist and react kind of energy. Okay, let's see. Wow, 3 of Swords. 2 of Swords in reverse. Now, before I forget, because I always forget, but with these ones, I know I get comments, so I've been reminded, the decks. The one I'm using now is the Housewife's Tarot, and the first one I put down is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Okay, 9 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, let me just pause here. If you, when you met this person, you were with somebody in another connection, romantic situation, and they knew, it could be that it came up in conversation, or they just knew, or someone told them, or you, when you met this person, you were with this other person, your partner here, an instant feeling they had was pain, Three of Swords, Two of Swords reverse, Nine of Coins reverse. It's almost like, my God, this person I've just connected with without even having to say anything. This person I want to know, to get to know, who I want to know me, who I feel like already sees me, who I'm incredibly attracted to. They're with someone. That's gutting. Just as I was feeling like, yes, things are turning in my favor, I see that they're actually not even available. And it's a feeling of cruelty. Yeah, look, Five of Cups. Oh my gosh, she's in this sort of like burgundy red dress, but now look at it. It's sort of, it's wet. Yeah. Also, with all this red, definitely passion. Obviously the root chakra as well. It's connected here. So this is someone, their first impression of you was that this could really be something that's tangible and grounded. It's not just something they want to remain in the realm of fantasy. But I feel like their feelings very quickly turned to feelings of stress and pain and being a bit pessimistic. See, look, Eight of Cups. The Devil in reverse, Capricorn there. It's almost like a truth they didn't want to see. And we've got the Chariot, Cancer energy. Okay, wow. If you did meet them at an event and then, you know, you saw each other, maybe you interacted, they saw you were with someone, it was like, oh, this really hurts. They may even have almost sort of pulled within emotionally that same evening, and then you left and they were gutted. But either way, I feel like there was a truth they realized or saw that they didn't want to see. The Devil's reversed. It's like, I'm getting stuck on this truth now, on this realization, and I wish that I didn't know, or I wish I'd have had a bit more time to enjoy this connection I'm experiencing without knowing that now I can't do anything about it. Because I do think Five of Cups, they fell quickly into this place of pessimism, of, okay, well, you're not single, so there's nothing I can do. Oh, well, I just potentially found the love of my life, but nothing can happen. Woe is me, you know, I'm not going to do anything. Or if, you know, if it's not that you were with someone with this Nine of Pentacles reversed, it could just be you were tied up in something else, or they felt like you weren't in a position where you wanted to connect with someone, or you were available to connect with them. But there's something here where they looked at you as being in a way off limits. It could even have been that they didn't get enough time with you, and they thought, well, I'm not going to be able to see you again, or find out who you were. Because, you know, Eight of Cups, it's like, well, I've just found my Two of Cups connection, but now I've got to walk away, and that's really painful emotionally. This is so fascinating. This person had big feelings for you, you know, very quickly, but it's almost like they tried to skim over them, and they went straight from shock and awe into, it's almost like they didn't get to intellectually figure out what are these amazing feelings I'm having, because they just jumped over. Like, imagine the love and excitement is under a bridge. One side of the bridge we've got, I've just been through something, I'm focused on self. On the other side of the bridge we've got this melancholy, this sadness, because for some reason they feel like they can't move things forward with you. They didn't stop and engage with what was under the bridge, all of that nice stuff. They just crossed the bridge to, well, I've met you and now I'm sad because I can't see you again, or I can't have you. Now, how I think this may have looked to you is, I met this person, we had a connection, they pulled back, the connection hasn't been verbalized, they've not said anything, they're not even putting in any effort or pursuing me. I feel like they're playing games. I'm not sure where I stand, but I know we had a moment. Whereas in their, you know, from their perspective, it's we had a moment, I felt shy. Yes, I was more in my feminine energy, which pushed you into your masculine energy. But then I saw something, whether it was accurate or a misinterpretation, that made me think I couldn't do anything. So yeah, I did pull back. But that my intention wasn't that you would have to pursue me or figure out, you know, what I was doing or think that I was playing games. It was just that I felt I should pull back, I should detach, there's nothing I could do. But actually, Spirit's saying it was them giving up a bit too soon. So yeah, for some of you, maybe there was a misunderstanding. Maybe they saw you with someone, but it was your cousin, you know, or your friend or something, and they just jumped to a conclusion. Okay. Whatever this was, though, this truth, they really got stuck on it, and I think it really affected how they behaved after this, and a lot of what you maybe have seen from this person over the course of this connection, however long or short it's been. Let's have a look. Two of Swords reversed with the Devil in reverse, please. Let's see, the Star reversed, a lack of hope, but the Star, we've got Aquarius here as well, but it's almost like they weren't seeing what Spirit is saying is the obvious, because these cups aren't even behind her, they're in front of her, the ones that are upright. So they weren't seeing that there was an opportunity here. Especially, you know, if they felt that you were about 1,000,000 times more attractive than they were and could, you know, sort of engage with or draw the attention of anyone in the room, whether it was a literal room or metaphorical room, they may have been like, well, that confirms it then. Not only is this person not available to me, there's no way out of all these people, if they were going to choose someone else, that it would be me. So all of this self-doubt and sort of you know, hopelessness and giving up too soon that was internalized and not spoken, maybe, I think, made this person seem selfish, unmotivated, confusing in their behavior, like their energy was saying one thing, they were doing another, they were, you know, hot and cold with you. And I also think it was a form of self-protection, because we know when this person first met you, they went through some massive life transition, and it's almost like, no, I do not have the capacity to go through that sort of an upheaval again if it's just going to end badly. So that's another reason I think they pulled back too soon or gave up too quickly. Okay, so let me put this away. We'll use the same decks, and then we will see what is their impression of you now, and what are their feelings for you now. Okay, so I just paused, and as I did, it was 13:33 on the clock, in case that's relevant for anybody. Also, I had a thought. If when they first met you, you were single and available, but they weren't for whatever reason, whether it was an existing connection, work situation, I feel whatever that third situation energy was on their side that was in the way of them moving things forward with you, that was something that was already rocky, difficult, something they were wanting to transition away from anyway. Okay, so let's have a look. We'll start with impressions and then do feelings. So their impressions of you now. So Spirit, the person on my viewer's mind, what is their impression of my viewer now, please? What's their impression of my viewer now? Whoa, okay. Oh my goodness, the Tower. Seriously, more Scorpio energy. We have the Lovers reversed, Gemini, and we have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Well, something could have happened here. Some kind of a big ending. Someone made perhaps a choice. So their impression of you might be that you have chosen to walk away, and they do not like that with the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. But we'll see how this goes. See how she's holding on to this Tower that is on fire. So if there has been an ending, even if they walked away from you, it's like they can't let this go, even if it's not good for them, even if it's painful, even if it's hurting them. Yeah, the Fool in reverse, Aries, Aquarius. Okay, so they're in impression of you right now, and really of the situation, is that it's in disconnect, or it's fragmented, or something has happened that they want to repair. This is not somebody who wants a new beginning without you. With the Fool reversed and the way she's clinging on here, I feel in fact like this is someone who might even be holding themselves back actively in some way, stopping themselves making decisions in life, or taking steps in maybe a different direction here. This could be someone, I don't know when this Tower moment happened, but however long ago it was, they could still be stuck in that moment. Okay, what else please? This person's impression of my viewer. Look, we have the High Priestess again in the same position. What is the chance of that happening? So still, this is still someone who is shy around you. They still feel sort of like they're not as attractive as you or as confident as you. And this is someone who's actually saying, I think that could have been part of the downfall here. Remember everything I was saying about how this person was nervous, apprehensive, shy, all of that. Was in maybe more of a feminine energy of simply being, existing, and perhaps to you it looked like they were being complacent or taking you for granted and not seizing the moment. They're saying to themselves, okay, you know, I can see objectively from a distance now how my behaviour might have been interpreted. I can see how maybe I have contributed to the Tower moment. So they have been doing some introspection, but yet again, it's so interesting that I'm trying to ask, what is their impression, opinion of you now? And it's coming back to them. So I will say, I'm not saying it's good or bad, I just think overall this is someone who is quite self-focused. Their initial response in situations might be, how does this affect me? So yeah, I'm just going to put that out there, and you can decide based on your particular experience whether that has manifested as being selfish and unempathetic, or, you know, if it's just them maybe having a human moment before considering other people in the situation. I don't know. It could definitely come across as selfish, I will say that. But it's very much, but it's not a bad thing, you know, they're being introspective and they're asking themselves, okay, how was I seen? How did I show up? It's not just, oh, this makes me sad, you know, boo-hoo. It's, okay, what role have I played? So they are very introspective. We have the King of Wands. We've got Pisces, of course, again with the High Priestess. Page of Cups. Eight of Cups in the reverse. Oh my goodness. This person is still looking at you as the one for them. This person is not moving on. It's almost like they know at this point that it does feel like a cycle that they're stuck in. And look what's on the back, the Hanged Man. Wow. So more Pisces energy there. It could be that right now they feel like this connection really exists in their mind, in their fantasies. They haven't got this interaction with you in the 3D. And holding on to it in their mind, in their heart, it might be painful, and they know it consciously, but they're like, you know what? Well, it's my choice, and I'm going to hold on to this because this person, you know, the viewer, you are my Two of Cups person. You know, we have this connection, the lovers. So at this point, their impression could be, we are soulmates or we are twin flames. And they're looking back at when they first met you and they're saying, well, that makes sense. That's why I felt that instant connection, that instant knowing. So we're not really looking at their intentions today, but their intentions are to not let this go and to hold on to hope. This person's hoping that you will reach out to them. They're still in this quite feminine dominated energy because they see you as being in an incredibly masculine energy, maybe in your life in general. With them, perhaps they have viewed you going after things, making things happen, but they see you as so confident. This person may even have overestimated your level of security within yourself or your confidence, or even didn't really consider that you may feel that way about yourself, but you don't always want to have to be the person who's pursuing or the person who's, you know, super strong and blah blah blah. That it might be nice to have some time off of being that way, for example. But they really feel like you are someone that if you know you want something or want someone, you will go for it. And that's why they almost feel like, okay, well, I'm just going to hope you reach out to me because I know that if you wanted to, you would. Now, I just feel that while this may be true, you may have, between meeting this person and now, you may have been focusing on yourself and making some changes, maybe balancing out your own masculine and feminine energy, looking at the connection, thinking about how you did show up, the changes you'd like to make. And I don't think it's that clear cut. I do not think that it's as simple as I want to talk to this person, so I will. I think there's more nuance here now, like perhaps you were the one that always initiated and now you're saying, right, I'm not doing that anymore. Maybe you're trying out a different kind of energy that is maybe more, I'm going to go with the flow, trust in divine timing, you know, whatever comes up is meant to be. I think there's more nuance here now than this person's realizing in terms of your approach to this situation. So I feel like they've been waiting for a long time, hoping to get this message. They may have more of a wait to go if they're just going to keep waiting. It's almost like every time their phone goes, they're looking at it. Is it you? Is it you? And it's not, it's never you. Yeah, so their impression of you, I mean, was it, I think I can't remember now, was it the Queen of Wands we had before? I'm not sure, but I remember she had that red dress on. It's very fiery. We've got this King of Wands now, and obviously he's got a drum. You march to the beat of your own drum. You do what you're doing because it suits you. You couldn't care what anybody thinks. This person also, their impression of you is once you make a decision, it's a decision that is made. And you're not going to be persuaded otherwise because you've come to this decision through thought, reflection, knowing what's best for you. And it would almost be humiliating for the person that tried to change your mind because, I don't know, maybe you'd whack them with that drumstick or something, but it's like no one would dare try and change your mind. And that's why they're sort of creeping around behind curtains, looking at their phone, trying to see what you're up to and hoping you'll message them. So their impression of you, I think, is that it's like they see you now as being even more empowered and confident than they did before. But the thing is, whereas their first impression was like, wow, I want to get to know you, I want to be in that close circle with you, this person feels something has happened here that's pushed them outside, and it's almost like now they're a bit afraid of all this fire, like they don't want to get burnt. Let me have a look at the Tower. What has gone on here? This could also be someone who thinks you've decided you're better off without them. Again, their impression of you is kind of centered around how it's impacting them. So yeah, I don't know if this is someone who can be selfish, or if they're almost using this reading as a chance to sort of say this is how they're feeling. Knight of Wands, King of Cups. Okay, so this is someone, classic storyline, we've all heard it before. In the past they came off as a bit of a player, like they were only interested in you for fun. You didn't really know where you stood. And look how this person here, this rider, is jumping through this hoop of fire. There's all this fire energy coming from you. I mean, you could be a fire sign, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, or they just see you as confident, fiery, strong, passionate. But this person's playing with the fire. They're very confident. I can literally leap through it and I'll be fine. I know what I'm doing. So this person felt skillful in the past, that they had your attention, they knew how to maybe even manipulate it, so they could have been manipulative in the past. They just got too cocky. Because they thought you're the King of Cups. They knew that you had deep feelings for them, that your feelings were grounded, consistent, you were perhaps patient with them. You maybe even sheltered them from something or provided a feeling of safety. You looked out for them or something. You may even literally have helped them with something. However, look at her hair. It's like she's got these tentacles, and it's actually making me think of Medusa. So there is something that's changed now. They're almost in fear of what might happen if they try to talk to you, or if they saw you, that you would have the power to turn them to stone. One cutting look from you would be devastating for this person. And the thing is, Medusa, she became, angry and with the snakes on her head and everything because she was done a massive injustice. I'm not going to go into it here, but if you want to know, then definitely look it up. But she was that way, with good reason. So this person understands that the reason you might be in this energy, if you are, and if you're not, it's kind of maybe what they're perceiving, is because they know they've done an injustice here to you. They weren't treating you right in the past, which is perhaps why they can't let this go, because they're kicking themselves. It's not like it was out of their hands. They kind of time and time again did things to push you further and further into this energy of maybe cutting them off bit by bit by bit until now your back is turned and you're doing your own thing that doesn't involve them. Yet they're saying, you're my person, you're my Two of Cups. Now remember, we had the Eight of Cups in the upright before. It's reversed now because now they're saying, I realise I gave up too soon. I realise I thought I was making a practical decision in trying to pull my emotions away, which made me look like a playboy, playgirl, whatever. But actually now I'm ready to honour my feelings, and even if the situation around us is complicated, well, we could have figured it out together. I walked away too soon. So now this person is fully emotionally invested, but they feel like you might not be. Even if you are, the impression they feel that you're giving them is, honestly, you're doing your own thing. Yeah, okay. Let's have a look at their feelings for you now. Side note, I also feel that their impression of you now is that you're very elegant. I don't know if they've had more opportunities to see you, to watch you, to see how you move, to see your body. Some of you, excuse me, could actually dance or something like that. Or, you know, I don't know what it's called, but when people go up on, it's not rope, it's like a fabric, and they sort of wind it around themselves, and then they, do you know what I mean? And they go up to the ceiling, and then they unwind themselves in like an artistic way and come back down. I don't know what that's called, but somebody could do that. But yeah, something about you, maybe your hands, your feet, very elegant. Or it could just be your movement or something like that, or they really like the shape of your body. And I don't just mean, you know, oh, you've got an hourglass figure or whatever sort of figure they like, or, you know, you've got the broad shoulders and narrow waist or whatever. I mean like literally the definition of your muscles on your arms or your legs, or I'm hearing kneecaps. I don't know if they like your kneecaps, which I know sounds weird, but it's not that weird, because I remember I had a job years ago and someone was talking about how his friend, obviously, well, never mind, how his friend felt that he could decide whether someone was going to be attractive or not based on how their knees looked. Which I don't know whether you think, I don't know if you think there's something in that or not, but goes to show people do notice the knees. So maybe this person's, you know, something like that, things that might not seem obvious, they've zoomed in on and they're like, wow, I really like that about you. I really like the way that's shaped or the way that looks. Okay, right, so how does this person feel about you now? Oh my goodness, Queen of Wands, but look, she doesn't look that happy, does she? It's almost like she's been sweeping up with this broom and now she's decided to sit down because she's remembered she's a queen, and she's like, well, you do something, you sweep the rest of the room. So they do feel that you're definitely perhaps more in your power. You're not going to sort of run around and chase them, but we've also got the King and the Queen of Wands, so it's like you are complete within yourself. You don't feel that you need them. Temperance reversed, Sagittarius. Oh my gosh, this Eight of Cups is back. Ace of Wands. Page of Wands reverse. Wow, they feel that they are not on your level in any way whatsoever. The Chariot is back again, Cancer there. They feel like you've moved on without them, to be honest. And again, you know, some of you will be like, yes, I did. And others will be saying, no, I'm still, you know, I'm definitely still here. I'm still interested in this connection. Or I've even tried to pursue them and they've been unresponsive. Oh look, the Wheel of Fortune again, Sagittarius. We've got the Nine of Pentacles reversed. If when you met them, you were in another connection, or there was something that was preventing you on your side from being with them, they might feel that because of their nonsense in the past, their immaturity, and not taking this seriously, you doubled down in your pre-existing relationship or situation outside of this connection, and that you're actually doing pretty well there. Okay, Five of Swords reversed. What's on the back? Look, the Fool is reversed again. This is not someone who intends to move on without you, or feels that they want to, or maybe even that they can at this point. And I do think they're even saying, look, the way I feel and the lack of movement that I'm seeing feels a bit destructive actually, but it's my choice. I keep hearing it's my choice. You know, if I want to stay here and feel this way, I will. If I want to hold on, even if it's, you know, the tower's falling and I might get crushed, I will hold on. It's my choice. Okay, calm down. Okay, so Queen of Wands, Page of Wands reverse. Yeah, they feel that you're out of reach right now. They feel like they messed up. Page of Wands is reversed. They have an opportunity and they got out too quickly. Interesting phrasing, got out. It's almost like at the time they felt like they were escaping some kind of, you know, inevitable disaster, and now they realize what happened is they, you know, they did themselves out of an opportunity. I don't think that phrasing makes sense, but they shut this off too quickly. We have Temperance reversed and the Chariot. I do think they view you as having moved forward in some aspect of your life or having moved on from them. They cannot heal. They cannot find peace. They cannot be okay with it. We've got cards, we've got the words here: joy, justice, anger, and sorrow. They can't balance these feelings out. And I think it's because they're saying, I did this. And even if they don't feel that they pushed you away or something, it's like, well, I did have an opportunity and I did not take it. In fact, I turned away from it. How am I supposed to reconcile that? How am I supposed to be okay with that? Eight of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, Nine of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, they pulled away emotionally in the past. Now they feel like you may have moved forward and pulled away emotionally from them, that you're not available to them now, not just practically, but emotionally. Again, it's that King of Wands, back's turned. You're passionate, you're fired up about something else, and you're doing what suits you with that drum there. I'm creating my own rhythm and I'm moving to it, and that's it. I'm not doing this beat for anybody else. It's all about me. Then we have the Ace of Wands, Five of Swords reversed. They have moments when they step outside of themselves and their mind, and all they want is a passionate new start with you. So they may even have moments where they're like, okay, never mind. I'm not going to listen to my doubts, my fears. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to send this message, or I'm just going to go and pay you a visit. But, obviously they don't. But I think they keep having these moments of, screw it, I'm just going to do something. And I think actually that is probably the divine inspiration, because we can think of the Ace of Wands as that spark, that life force, that energy of like, go, initiate. And Wands, masculine energy, take the initiative that you haven't taken, or that you haven't been taking enough. So they keep having these moments where their intuition peeks through and says, go on, do it, go for it. But then I think they chicken out or something like that. So this person's impression of you, I think it's just intensified. The things they've picked up on or suspected at the start, they've now had the chance to witness playing out. So they've seen physical, tangible proof of, say, your strength, your courage, your ability to manifest, your kindness, your warmth to other people. Their feelings about you, I think it's been a tumultuous ride for them. They felt the feelings, they didn't fully engage, they backed off, convinced themselves they didn't have feelings, then they tried to make it just about passion, then they lost you or pushed you away, and then they realized, okay, it's a deep soul connection, it's love, and then there's the sadness, and then there's the passion, I want to reconnect. So it's a whole thing, it's a whole roller coaster. A lot of what they're thinking and feeling as well is about themselves. How did I show up? How am I impacted? What should I do about this? I can't heal, I can't move on, I don't want to move on. I feel quite annoyed with the whole it's my choice. I don't know if someone around this person, if they've ever spoken to people about this connection, I don't know if their friend or friends or family or something have said, you've not spoken, in however long, nothing's happening, you need to move on. And your person has been like, don't tell me what to do, I'm not moving on. Or because I feel kind of like like, do not tell me what to do, I'm not moving on. It's that sort of thing. And if no one said that, if they haven't spoken about this, it's just a feeling of maybe their logic is saying you need to release this, and then they're like, absolutely not, I don't care if it's damaging me, it's my choice. Okay, so that's how they feel now. It's this pretty